The SEC has two quarterbacks who are going to be starting for the first time in their careers this season, full time, and that's Oklahoma's Jackson Arnold and Tennessee's Nico Iamaleava. These were two top 5 quarterback recruits from the 2023 recruiting cycle. Nico is the second-ranked quarterback from that class behind Arch Manning. Jackson Arnold was the 4th-ranked quarterback. And I expect both of these two guys to explode this year. If Oklahoma and Tennessee both end up making it into the college football playoffs this year, it's going to be because they get fantastic quarterback play out of these two. Nico looked really impressive in his starting debut in their bowl win against Iowa. He looks like Trevor Lawrence, but with way more athleticism. He's long, he's lanky, but he has a really strong arm, and he's going to prove to be a big upgrade over Joe Milton. Plus, Tennessee has a great group of wide receivers last year. Injuries to that group was the big reason why that offense kind of underperformed a little bit. But with everybody coming back fully healthy and with the addition of Chris Braswell from the transfer portal, this is going to be an explosive offense with Nico at the helm. And we could see the Vols offense revert back to the form that they had in 2022 when Malik Hooker was at quarterback that season. Jackson Arnold has potential to be the best quarterback or the most talented quarterback that Oklahoma has had in a very long time. He's a really good athlete, really elusive when he gets the ball in the open field. He can put a move on a guy, make somebody miss. He has a really strong arm, and he's really good when he's throwing on the run. We saw that in his Alamo Bowl appearance when he ended up getting the starting nod in that game. Yeah, it was a little bit rocky, it was up and down, it was inconsistent at times, but for the most part, you definitely have a lot more positives that you can take away from that game than you can negatives. The only negative about Jackson Arnold was that the dude just didn't take good care of the football. But outside of that, if Jackson Arnold can be better at being efficient when it comes to limiting mistakes, something that we didn't really see Dylan Gabriel do a lot of, I believe that he's going to be pretty good, and I can see both Nico and Jackson Arnold winning the Heisman Trophy this year. I view them as dark horse Heisman contenders because the talent's there, and most of these guys who get ranked in the top 5 of the recruiting classes when it comes to quarterback, they normally end up panning out. 247 Sports has gotten incredibly accurate when it comes to properly evaluating these quarterbacks. We seem to forget that Jackson Arnold was the Gatorade Player of the Year. He had a great outing in the Elite 11 when he went down there to perform there. I believe he won MVP of the Elite 11 camp as well, if I'm not mistaken. And Nico Iamaleava, I mean, this dude is just something special. Not only does he have a really special last name, but just looking at how much velocity he throws the football with, he doesn't have a Joe Milton rifle, but the arm strength that Nico Iamaleava possesses, I don't think is too far off from Joe Milton's, all right? I know Joe Milton has a cannon. That's a generational arm, but Nico Iamaleava, he can float that football with the best of them. These are two quarterbacks that, if they end up panning out and they live up to expectation, Tennessee and Oklahoma, we possibly might see them in the SEC championship game going against each other. A lot of people are really high on Tennessee. Most people view Tennessee as a 10-win team. A lot of people seem to be down on Oklahoma. I may be one of the only few people in the world that believes that Oklahoma is going to be better than a 7-8 win team, but their defense is going to be really good. They've recruited at a really high level. They got really good running backs. They got really good wide receivers. As long as Jackson Arnold plays at a high level, which I believe that he can with the talent that he has around him and how well Oklahoma has recruited and developed their talent, they're good enough to win the SEC this year. So I got really high expectations for Nico Iamaleava and Jackson Arnold. These are two newcomers into the SEC that, although they did start it in their bowl games, this is really going to be the first time that we see these guys as full-time starters for their respective programs. And I believe that they're absolutely going to kill it this year, and they're going to become household names by the end of this season. And even if they don't end up making it into the playoffs, or they make it into the playoffs and they end up becoming early round exits, expect these two teams with these respective quarterbacks to be talked about to win it all potentially for their teams next season as Heisman favorites and possibly being able to lead their respective programs to national titles because of how good they're going to play this year. And they definitely have the talent to be high-end first-round draft picks. They possess good arm strength. They're really good athletes. I think Jackson Arnold is a better runner than what Nico Iamaleava is, just because he has more elusiveness in his game. But Nico Iamaleava, to me, looks like a more polished passer than what Jackson Arnold is. But both of these guys are really good. They were highly sought after coming out of high school. Both these two schools got huge recruiting wins when they were able to land them. And I'm really excited to see what both of these two guys do this season, because I believe they're going to crush the SEC competition this year. And they're going to be a large reason why their two programs end up being in the playoffs this year or in that conversation to make it.